It was a Tuesday afternoon at a gas station on the edge of nowhere. Jake Reaper Morrison was filling his Harley when he heard the scream. High-pitched, terrified, coming from the convenience store. 20 years riding with the Devil's Brotherhood MC had taught him to recognize genuine fear. This was danger. Before he reached the door, a little girl burst out, running full speed, looking over her shoulder. She was maybe 6 years old, blonde pigtails bouncing, face streaked with tears. "Please, please act like you're my dad," she gasped, grabbing his hand. Jake froze. In his entire life, no one had ever asked him to be anything close to a father figure. He was the guy people crossed the street to avoid. But this little girl was clinging to him like he was her only hope. Then Jake saw him. A man in his 30s emerged from the store, scanning the parking lot. He wore jeans and a polo shirt. Looked completely ordinary except for the cold calculation in his eyes. The girl pressed herself behind Jake's legs, trembling. "He's not my dad," she whispered. "He took me from the park. Please don't let him take me." Jake positioned himself between the girl and the man, his massive frame creating a wall of leather and muscle. The man started walking over, putting on a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Emily, sweetheart, you scared me. Come here." The girl's grip on Jake's hand tightened painfully. Jake's voice came out low and dangerous. "She doesn't want to go with you. I'm her uncle. She's just upset because I wouldn't buy her candy." Jake had spent 2 decades reading people in situations where reading them wrong could get you killed. This man was lying. "Emily, is this your uncle?" Jake asked without taking his eyes off the man. "No," she whispered. "I've never seen him before today." "Listen, buddy. This doesn't concern you. Emily, come here right now." Jake pulled out his phone. "Then you won't mind if I call the police." The man's mask dropped completely. His hand moved to his jacket pocket. Jake's body responded before his mind caught up. He stepped forward, grabbed the man's wrist and twisted hard. Something fell from his pocket. A phone. On the screen, visible for just a second, Jake saw a chat window. Got another one. Blonde, 6 years old. Meeting at usual spot in 2 hours. Jake's vision went red. In the motorcycle club world, hurting kids was the one thing that would unite every club in the country against you. Jake kept his grip on the man's wrist while he dialed. Not the police. Not yet. He called someone who could move faster. "Bulldog, it's Reaper. I need the crew at the Chevron on Highway 47. Now." "What's the situation?" "Child trafficking. And I need it handled before this piece of garbage makes a phone call." The man tried to pull away. Jake's grip tightened. "You move again, I break it. Understand?" Jake softened his voice. "Hey, sweetheart. What's your real name?" "Lily. Lily Chen." "Okay, Lily. I'm Jake, and I promise you, this man will never hurt you or anyone else ever again." The roar of motorcycles filled the air within 5 minutes. 7 Harleys pulled into the gas station. Bulldog, a massive man with a gray beard, dismounted first. He took one look at the situation and his expression went from curious to murderous. "This what I think it is." "Check his phone," Jake said, tossing it to him. Bulldog scrolled for maybe 30 seconds. Then he handed the phone to Ghost, their tech guy. "How many?" "At least 12 kids in the last 6 months based on these messages," Ghost said quietly. "He's part of a network. There's a meeting spot, a handler, buyers." The man started to speak. Jake shoved him against his truck. "You're right. I don't understand. I don't understand how something like you exists." "Jake." Bulldog's voice carried a warning. "We do this right, we get all of them." Jake knew what that meant. This wasn't about revenge. This was about making sure every single person in this network faced justice. "Ghost, can you access his messages? Find out where this meeting is." "Already on it. Abandoned warehouse on the south side. 2 hours from now." Jake knelt down to Lily's level. "Lily, I need to ask you some very important questions. Can you be brave for me?" She nodded, wiping her eyes. "Did this man hurt you?" No. He said he was a friend of my mommy's. He said she was in an accident and he needed to take me to the hospital. But when we got in his car, he locked the doors and drove away. I only got away when he stopped for gas. Smart kid. Brave kid. Do you know your mommy's phone number? Lily rattled it off perfectly. Jake dialed and a woman answered on the first ring, her voice desperate. Hello. Mrs. Chen. This is Jake Morrison. I'm at a gas station on Highway 47. I have your daughter, Lily. She's safe. The sound of sobbing came through the phone. Oh God. Oh, thank God. Ma'am, the man who took her is in custody, but I need you to call Detective Sarah Martinez at the state police. Tell her Jake Morrison from the Devil's Brotherhood is requesting her presence at this location. She'll understand. There was a pause. The motorcycle club? Yes, ma'am. I know our reputation, but right now we're the good guys. Detective Martinez arrived 40 minutes later with 3 state police units. She was a woman in her 40s who'd worked gang task forces for 15 years and had a complicated but respectful relationship with the Devil's Brotherhood. Reaper, she said. Your message said child trafficking. Jake handed her the phone Ghost had unlocked. Everything you need is on here. Meeting location, network contacts, records going back months. He grabbed Lily Chen from Central Park 3 hours ago. Martinez scrolled through the phone, her expression growing darker. This is enough for warrants on at least 8 people. Jake, how did you? She asked me to act like her dad, Jake said simply. Kids got good instincts. Lily's mother arrived moments later, nearly collapsing when she saw her daughter. Lily ran to her and they held each other while both cried. But before they left, Lily turned back to Jake. Thank you, Jake. You saved me. Something cracked in Jake's chest. In 20 years of living hard, no one had ever looked at him the way this little girl was looking at him now. Like he was a hero. You saved yourself, kid. You were smart and brave. I just helped a little. Mrs. Chen approached him, tears streaming. I don't know how to thank you. I don't care what anyone says about motorcycle clubs. You saved my baby. Detective Martinez was organizing the tactical response. Jake, we're going to need statements from all of you. You'll get them. But Martinez, I want in on the raid. Absolutely not. This is a police operation. Those men are expecting one person at that meeting. If nobody shows, they'll scatter. But if someone shows... Martinez studied him. You're talking about going undercover. That's insane. I've done insane before. And unlike your undercover cops, if something goes wrong, I know how to handle myself. Bulldog stepped forward. He's not going alone. We all go. The Brotherhood has a reputation. Nobody's going to question bikers showing up to a shady meeting. Martinez looked between them. Finally, she nodded. This conversation never happened officially. If anyone asks, you were never there. Understood. The warehouse was exactly the kind of place where nightmares happened. Broken windows, graffiti-covered walls, and the smell of decay. Jake and 6 other club members rolled up on their bikes exactly 2 hours after the scheduled meeting time. 3 men were waiting outside. They tensed when they saw the motorcycles, but relaxed slightly when they saw the patches. You're late, one of them said. Jake dismounted. Had to make sure we weren't followed. You got the merchandise. The word tasted like poison in his mouth, but he kept his expression neutral. Inside. But we weren't expecting this many of you. My brothers go where I go. Problem. The man hesitated, then shook his head. No problem. Come on. They were led into the warehouse and what Jake saw made him want to burn the entire building down. 12 children, ages ranging from maybe 5 to 12, sitting on the floor. Some crying, some too traumatized to cry anymore. Jake's hand moved to his phone, pressing the button that would signal Martinez and her team to move in. So, Jake said, keeping his voice casual. How does this work? Simple. You pick what you want, we name a price, money transfers, and the merchandise is yours. That word again. Merchandise. like these were objects instead of children. Jake looked at his brothers. They were all thinking the same thing. "I got a better idea," Jake said. The man smiled. "What's that?" "You all get on the ground right now, or my brothers and I make sure you never get up again." The smile disappeared. "You're a cop. Worse. I'm someone who actually gives a damn." That's when Detective Martinez and 15 state police officers breached every entrance simultaneously. State police, everyone on the ground. The traffickers tried to run. 2 pulled weapons, but the building was locked down in under 30 seconds. Jake moved immediately to the children, kneeling down. "Hey everyone, my name is Jake. These police officers are here to help you. You're safe now. You're going home." One little boy, maybe 7, looked up at him. "Are you one of the bad guys?" The question hit harder than any punch Jake had ever taken. "No, kid. Not today." The aftermath was chaos controlled by professionals. EMTs checked each child while child services made frantic calls to locate families. Detective Martinez orchestrated everything with precision. But Jake couldn't leave. Not yet. He stood against the warehouse wall, watching as each child was gently guided to safety. And he felt something he hadn't experienced in decades. Purpose beyond survival. "Jake." Detective Martinez approached. "We need to talk. I spent 15 years thinking the Devil's Brotherhood was just another criminal organization I needed to shut down," Martinez said. "But you just helped me dismantle the largest child trafficking network in 3 states. 12 kids are going home because you gave a damn when it mattered most." She extended her hand. "Thank you." Jake shook it, feeling like he'd stepped into some alternate universe. "Don't make me regret this, Reaper. But Jake, off the record, if you ever intercept something like this again, you call me first. We do this right through proper channels." As Martinez walked away, Bulldog stepped closer. "Never thought I'd see the day we'd be working with cops." "Me neither," Jake said. "But those kids needed help and we were there." "So what now, Reaper? We just go back to normal like this never happened?" Jake didn't answer right away. He watched a father collapse to his knees as his daughter was placed back into his arms. "No," Jake said quietly. "There's no normal after this." That night, the Devil's Brotherhood clubhouse was packed. Every patched member in the territory showed up. Jake stood at the front. "Today we crossed a line," he began, "but not the kind we usually cross. We pulled 12 kids out of a trafficking operation. Not for money, not for power. We did it because it was right." He held up his phone. Messages from the traffickers. "Children reduced to numbers and prices. This is evil. Real evil. And if we ignore this, then what separates us from them?" Hammer spoke up. "You saying we turn into some kind of vigilantes?" "I'm saying we use what we already have," Jake replied. "Chapters everywhere. Eyes on every street. Connections cops don't have. From now on, anyone trafficking kids in our territory is declaring war on the Brotherhood." Silence. "You think this makes us weak?" Jake said. "But today I watched cops shake our hands. Families thank us. That's not weakness. That's power." Bulldog stood up. "My sister's kid vanished 6 years ago. Never found her. If this stops even one family from living that nightmare, I'm in." Hands rose around the room. Not all of them, but most. The next morning, Jake answered a call from an unknown number. "My name is Rebecca Torres," a woman said, her voice trembling. "Detective Martinez gave me your number. My son Tyler's been missing for 3 days. Police say there's no evidence, but I know something's wrong." Jake thought about Lily Chen. "Tell me everything," he said. Tyler was found within 48 hours. That case led to another, then another. 6 months later, Jake sat inside a community center the Brotherhood had helped renovate. After-school programs, safety courses, laughter echoing off walls that once held nothing. Lily Chen ran up and hugged him. Every time something inside his chest cracked a little wider. The trafficking ring was gone. 17 arrests. Dozens of children home. But Jake still thought about that gas station parking lot, about a scared little girl whispering, "Please act like you're my dad." He'd spent his life being the man people warned their kids about. But Lily saw a protector. The Brotherhood still rode, still lived in the gray, still carried their reputation. But now they had a code. Children were untouchable. Jake kept a board in the clubhouse. Photos of every child they'd helped. At the center, Lily smiling, holding his hand. Mrs. Chen once told him, "You didn't just save my daughter. You showed me that help can come from anywhere." I just didn't walk away. And that was the difference. His phone rang again. "My daughter Emma disappeared today. They say I need to wait 24 hours. I can't." Jake grabbed his keys. "I'm on my way." Bulldog and 3 others pulled up beside him. Engines roared to life. Once that sound meant danger. Now it meant hope. Jake thought about Lily's question. "Are you one of the bad guys?" The answer was complicated. But maybe redemption isn't erasing the past. Maybe it's choosing differently now. Because sometimes the scariest men become the fiercest protectors. And sometimes being someone's dad, even for a few minutes, changes everything. And that's a code even outlaws can live by.